Just like the unrelenting suffering of the nine hells, I want to go ahead and say that my most suffering has been with the MCU and the DCEU and kind of Star Wars. I really can't stand these movies nowadays. The DCEU with Flash that came out was one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. And we all know that the CW Flash has also been really bad. And before you get your jimmies rustled, let me go ahead and rustle it a little bit more. Shang-Chi to She-Hulk butchered Wan's character more than you ever could have imagined. Also, Spider-Man should have never even done No Way Home. No Way Home should have actually just never happened. There's no way that anybody should have ever believed Mysterio. There were well over basically 100 people that were key witnesses that watched as all the monsters disappeared and the drones were just flying there. There's also like 20 plus witnesses that are just completely against Mysterio to begin with, that were there at the actual event, that say that Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man. It was a landslide lawsuit, and the fact that the college or the university that he was going to go to wanted to believe J. Jonah Jameson over the fucking court of law is the most absurd bullshit I could have ever fucking, like, this is so ridiculous. At that point, Peter should have probably just been like, yeah, this school isn't worth it. Let's go. Because J. Jonah Jameson is the fictional equivalent to Alex Jones. I want to start off with some bigger problems with the MCU, where we're talking about how retconned and contrived it can be. You cannot use the comics to explain the poor writing in the MCU. You need to establish things in your movies. You can't just go, oh, well, they did that in the comics, so that's why they did this in the movie unexplained. No, your movie audience and your comic audience are not the same. So a good example, let's go back to the Phantom Menace in Star Wars Episode 1, when the Jedi are basically sitting there, the Separatists, right? They're investigating the Separatists because they believe that the Separatists are working with the Sith. So they're sitting there drinking these drinks that the Separatists gave them, going, this is suspicious. And the Separatists never put rat poison in the drinks to try to kill the Jedi. And some neckbeard tried to get on me and say, well, actually, bots, if you knew what you were talking about, you know that Jedi can sense poison as per the books. And it's like, hey, brother, how hard is that to put in your movie? No, sincerely, how hard is that to put in your movie? They go to drink the drinks and they go, there's poison in these drinks. Bzz, I don't know, you just fucking do like anything, bro. It's just a lack of common sense, because why would they not try to poison the Jedi? Because in the next 5 seconds, they're trying to shoot blasters at them. Why wouldn't you try to do both of those things? I don't know. It's really pathetic. So we're talking about Wong today. Was my biggest spark, was I freaked the fuck out about Wong being a bad character, because he was a very strong, like, leaning, very strong character in his morals and in his direction of sense of justice, of what he wanted the entirety of the sorcerers to be like, you know? They wanted to be respectful, and that kind of got thrown out the window pretty fast. He quickly turned into a comic relief character, and it was just fairly pathetic. So in Shang-Chi, he's seen fighting Abomination in this cage match, and basically during the fight and after the fight, he's coaching Abomination.
How's the jaw?
Maybe you'll start controlling those punches like we practiced.
However, the narrative is almost completely flipped in She-Hulk, where it's like, did you not watch the fucking movie before you made She-Hulk? Because in She-Hulk, it's, I need to fight this strong opponent in order to become, like, prove myself and train to become the Sorcerer Supreme that I am now. I need to prove myself as the Sorcerer Supreme by taking on somebody strong. And it's like, that's not what you were fucking doing. Like, that's nowhere near what he was doing in Shang-Chi. Not at all. Not even a little bit. He was coaching him. And also, if you were going to fight Abomination, which in prior films they said that they don't help the Avengers because they don't deal with Avenger threats, they deal with mystic threats, you know, mystical threats. And it's such a pathetic retcon, because they're so close together. It's not like they have to go back and watch a movie that's like old as fuck. So the sorcerers, to me, seem to have the most contrived, because Doctor Strange in the first one, when they're teaching you how to use the sling ring to open the portals, it's like, oh, well, you have to envision like a person or a place, and that's how you open the portal. Well, when Ned is using it in No Way Home, and he's like, show me Peter Parker, how the fuck you have Peter Parker's face in your brain as the Tom Holland Peter Parker. So why the fuck are you getting Andrew and Toby? They look nothing like them. And you can't even say if he was like using like the mask, because the Amazing Spider-Man mask is a little bit different. I guess maybe that could have worked. But for Toby, he wasn't even wearing anything. Dude had a suit like kind of underneath a jacket. He was just like wearing a jacket. See, that's the problem with movies nowadays. I'm not saying that you need to be completely honest to your source material. You could make a movie that's completely different from the source material. You can make a movie that's completely different than the comics. It doesn't need to be the same plot as the comics. What they did with Thanos, where Thanos, in kind of more of the other source material that they have for Marvel, was trying to impress Lady Death because he was in love with her. However, Thanos in the MCU is basically just like, yeah, balancing the universe, right? Which is a weird debate to tackle on, because why didn't he just like double the resources? You cannot say, well, it happened this way in the source material, so that explains this unexplained thing, when it's like, no, it's the movie's job to stand alone on its own 2 feet. And if the movie cannot stand alone on its own 2 feet, it is not a strong movie. You cannot use the comic books or the regular books as crutches. You cannot use them as crutches when shit goes unexplained in your movie. I'm Bots Drums, or Bots Beard the Pirate. This has been another rant. Have a good night.
Complete.